What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime. Welcome back to yet again another video here on the channel, and welcome to my very first episode review of Shoukoku no Altair, an anime that has come out for this anime season, the summer 2017 anime season, and this anime is done by Studio Mappa. Mappa has actually done some really good stuff in the past, and I really want to check this series out because I heard some good things about it, and apparently I guess like the manga has also received awards in Japan for being quite good. So I said, you know what, I'll go ahead and check out this series and just see what it's like. But diving into this first episode of Shoukoku no Altair, I was technically going in blind. I really didn't know a whole lot about what the story revolved around, as I didn't really have an interest in this anime for this coming season. I had a lot of other shows that I was looking forward to, a lot of other anticipated shows, and I just heard that, this would be possibly a really good adaptation of the manga from what I have heard. So I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and check it out. And I did, and when it came down to the very first episode of Shoukoku no Altair, to be quite honest with you, it was alright. Now, hear me out, I'm not saying that the anime is bad by any means, it's just something that it's going to take me a little bit to get engrossed in, because just judging by how this first episode played out, it wasn't bad, but it didn't really keep me interested all of that much, but there were several elements that did interest me that were playing throughout the episode. For one, most notably, this is an Arabic sort of anime, and it kind of like takes inspiration from Aladdin, Magi, or maybe even Kingdom in some cases. And I say that because when it comes down to the overall character designs within this anime, they remind me a lot of the character designs in Magi. Now, when it comes to some of the story elements, they remind me of Kingdom in a way, in terms of the political nature, and just, I mean, mainly this was a whole dialogue-heavy episode. There wasn't a lot of action going on, so if you're thinking you're gonna go into the series expecting action on the get-go, that's not really happening, but I do expect that a war will eventually break out later on the series, and that's why in a way it kind of reminds me of Kingdom, because as we have all of these politics being involved, we also have declarations of war, assassinations. There's just several aspects that remind me of Kingdom, but this does seem like for the very first few episodes of this anime, there is going to be a lot of dialogue. It's going to be a lot of, politics involved with this, because as of right now, we just had our main male character actually prevent a war from coming about, and that's actually his main job. His main job is to try his very best in order to prevent wars to begin with, and that's what his overall motive is. He wants to keep the peace, but eventually that peace is most likely going to come to an end by a war raging out, into which his kingdom is going to have to go up against other kingdoms, and he is even going to have to be a, sort of soldier within, those coming episodes to fight for his kingdom in the first place. So you can definitely tell that there is various aspects of Magi and also Kingdom involved in a way. So yes, while this episode was kind of slow and kind of rushed in some places, at least in my personal opinion, it felt rushed in some places, while other scenes were going by pretty slowly, and then it seemed as though we were getting a little bit too many flashbacks as of right now. Like, it just seemed the order in which some of the scenes were presented weren't really handled that well. I mean, I don't know how the manga is. Let me know in the comments down below. But I'm not saying that the episode was bad at all. It was definitely, kind of off in some ways, but at the same time, the episode was still intriguing enough to actually keep me interested in the series. And while I'm not really well immersed within this series as of yet, I still am going to give this episode, or this anime, excuse me, a few more episodes before I actually make my ultimate decision to whether I continue it or whether I drop it. But I do believe that this series has potential. As I said before, when it comes down to the overall designs of these characters, they remind me a whole lot of the Magi characters, but the only thing that, is kind of different when it comes to some of the other characters compared to the Magi characters is that they have huge and very enormous turbans compared to those characters in Magi. Like, I mean, I'm being dead serious. Like, these characters, some of them have, like, the biggest turbans I have seen. I'm like, yo. I mean, I guess maybe the size of your turban. I mean, I don't know how, you know, things in Arabia go and all that good stuff. I mean, I'm not that well versed when it comes to the history and the culture and whatnot. So if any of you are from Arabia or whatnot and want to let me, you know about the culture and stuff like that, definitely let me know. But maybe the size of your turban kind of determines how big of a role you have in society, or just kind of like a sort of, you know, ranking system. I really don't know. Maybe that's the case. But anyway, I just thought that was something that I'd rather just talk about really quick, because in terms of, you know, the overall character designs, that is definitely the thing that stands out to me the most, the size of the turbans, if anything. So I wanted to talk about that really quick. But in terms of the overall animation, it's actually really not that bad. The animation actually looks pretty good, in my personal opinion. The soundtrack is actually good as well. I was curious at one point too if actually Hiroyuki Sawano was on the soundtrack, but I don't know if that's the case, because like towards the end, this song that kicked in at the end where you see the arrows being shot down by the arrows, there's like this soundtrack that plays in the background, and you know, it really felt like Hiroyuki Sawano for a minute. I don't know if he is actually on this, but whoever is handling, you know, the music when it comes to the series, I actually really like the music, and I'm very curious as to what the other soundtracks are going to be like. But yeah, very interesting setup for the first episode of Shoukoku no Altair. I'm very curious as to where this anime is going to go. It does have potential. I will say that it doesn't really have that strong of a first episode that left a really good impression on me. However, it does have me interested to what this series could ultimately become in the future, because judging by the opening does seem like we will see a war break out, because there is someone probably from the other side that is trying to wage a war between, you know, his kingdom and also, you know, our main character's kingdom as well, just in order to possibly take the throne for himself in a way. I don't really know, but there is definitely conspiracies, you know, going on in the courtroom as to who exactly is doing what, who is the target, you know, why exactly are they doing this, you know, there's various conspiracies as to what is raging out through the kingdoms and who is trying to start the wars. So most likely we can expect, you know, more of that to progress, and ultimately there will be succession into actually bring a war and raging about. So definitely curious. Good episode of, well, decent episode of Shoukoku no Altair. It was good enough to leave an impression on me, to keep me interested, but not, you know, to keep me that engrossed as of yet. But that is why I'm going to stick with the series and give it a few more episodes until I actually make my ultimate decision. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like the episode? Did you hate the episode? Do you think this series has potential? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm very curious. And also, if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That about does it for this video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. I definitely recommend you go check it out just to see what it's like. So with that said, everyone, thanks for watching. Peace.